Was some of the smartest things that we've ever done on the farm. So here you can see, this is the field. Alrighty, so now that that's done, I'm gonna pack up the side-by-side, strap it down, and head up to Bellevue. Alrighty, we're strapped down, should be good to go. She shouldn't be going anywhere, but I'm actually, you guys are probably wondering why I'm leaving it running. Well, the reason I'm leaving it running, shit, I'm in gear though, I don't want to stay in gear. The reason I'm leaving it running is because the receiver is an RTX signal. So it's not an RTK, but it's the next best thing. But it does take a little bit to acquire. It takes like 10 minutes to basically get the accuracy that I need. So in order to basically save myself from sitting for 10 minutes when I get up to Bellevue, I'm just gonna leave it run the whole time. A little bit of gas is worth my time, is worth saving 10 minutes of my time in my opinion. So let's head up to Bellevue. Ooh. I've seen 2 people hauling dirt today. It's definitely dry enough to get in the fields, at least for the kind of top dress applications. At least it's dry enough to, you know, get tractors out in the field. Not to like do any tillage equipment or anything like that, but to, you know, for myself getting boundaries done or hauling manure. A lot of people out there doing it. It's a nice day for it. Last nice day really, because we're supposed to get rain most of this week. Just made it up to the farm. I'm basically gonna go ahead and back into one of our lanes here just because there's really not a good spot to turn around and I don't want to chance it and potentially rut up fields. So I'm just gonna back up in here and unhold the side-by-side and do my couple fields and get moving. It's a breezy one today. Very, very breezy. So I hope this wind buff works today, because it would kind of suck if it didn't. So I'm gonna unload here. My dad's up here on the farm. I believe he's gonna do some fencing work and whatnot today, so let's go check in with him. So it's pretty windy to kind of explain what I'm doing as I'm going, so I'm going to do a lot of it right here. So but basically what the plan is I have the receiver, the GPS receiver that takes satellite information and kind of translates that receiver out of the sprayer that's got the RTX activation. It's not quite RTK or real-time kinematics, but it's the next best thing. It's cellular based, and it's basically a pretty high correction. But basically it takes that information, relays that to the Pro 700 monitor, and then from that information I'm able to create boundaries of our fields. I'm able to take this Honda Big Red and drive it around our fields and basically say, hey, this is the boundary, this is where I want to start applying on one side and stop applying on the other. So the strategy is I'll go around the outside of the field once and then I go on the inner boundaries a second time. So basically, for example, this field across the road that I'm going to do, there's hay strips on there. So my first pass is going to be around the entire field, and the second and subsequent pass after that is just going to be outlining the hay strips. So that way the planter doesn't put seed down where it's not going to grow, where we don't want it to grow, and that way the sprayer doesn't put chemical down where we don't want chemical there, because that way it'll probably harm other crops. So let's go ahead and go do that. Just kidding, Budman just got here. Let's go check in with him. Kitty! She knows that truck because that truck is when she gets feed. Alright, so we're moving. I got the mapping going. I don't know how well you guys can see that. And I'm just driving through the waterways for the hay strips right now. Just because that's the outside of the field. So how I set this up is I basically put how wide my side-by-side is, and then so how I set this up is I basically put how wide my side-by-side is, and then Basically, I drive with my left tire on the edge of the field, and it's just marking a point every second and a half, and it's just creating a boundary over the entire field where my left tire is. And then one thing I gotta watch out for is when I get under trees and whatnot, I sometimes lose signal. So that's why I have, I don't know how well you guys can see it, but I have basically a convergence or an accuracy bar right now. I'm at sub-inch accuracy. But like if I go under a tree, it could jump up to 20 inches and then I have to stop or pause it, get my accuracy back, and then keep going. But what I'm doing is, we actually put this hay strip in last year. So I'm going around. So last year we farmed this field without having any boundaries or anything marked. Carved right here when I sprayed it. But basically I had to manually mark out every single waterway, and it was a pain in the butt. So this year I'm making sure I go and mark out every waterway and hay strip. I just realized that that was recording for the last half hour. Yeah. And I just got smacked in the face by a weed. I'm having a good day. Honestly, I am having a good day. Can't complain when it's 60 degrees, sunny on a Sunday. I mean, really, I really can't complain. So I want to show you guys something that we've been fighting over the last 5-6 years, and it's a weed in Eastern Iowa, and a lot of people fight it. It's called water hemp. See this kind of green grass looking stuff? There's patches of it all over this field. They're there, up there, right there, right there. You can see the hay strip. The hay strip kind of rolls around. You can kind of see the rows. Hay strip up on top. But in between there, there's supposed to be bean stubble. But you can kind of see there's water hemp there. That's not good. And this is what water hemp looks like. It's just really viney, grassy. Right there. I don't claim to be an expert on weeds or anything like that, but I know we fight water hemp, and water hemp's really tough because it has a ton of seeds in a jar. So if you had a jar, let's just say hypothetically, these are just rough numbers. If you had a jar like this big around, there's like 100 corn kernels in there. There's well over 100,000 water hemp seeds in there. I know it's something like that, but it's really easy. If you harvest a field of water hemp, if you let water hemp go to seed, so if they grow up enough to produce seeds, you're gonna have a big problem on your hands. So that's why we've been really trying lately to really kind of cut down on the water hemp and try just to get it out of our fields and keep it out of our fields. But you can kind of see it's a battle every single day, and that's what I kind of fight, me running the sprayer most of the time. So it's good to know that this field has a water hemp problem. I'll probably up the application rate because we got a certain chemical that fights water hemp. All right, let's get going. Right there you can really see the water hemp. You can kind of see the bean stubble wrapping around. It looks like lawn grass if you let it go, and it grows tall. And another thing that it does is it basically robs a ton of nutrients from whatever you're growing, whether that be soybeans or corn, because everything that's in the ground is fighting for all the sunlight, all the nutrients, all the water that it can get. So our job is to basically get rid of all the pests and weeds that take all those nutrients away from our corn or soybeans. All right, so what I'm also doing here is I'm looking for washouts or potential spots where we need to redo waterways. We know that we're gonna bring the drill up here to redo a couple waterways. So because we're doing that, I see a big washout starting here, and why not fix it while we can? So I'm gonna basically have my dad use our new disc this up, and then we're gonna drill this. And so I'm already pre-marking the waterways, and I'm using these 2 stakes to basically say, hey, disc right to here, and then seed all this. So, Budman, if you watch this, you got another waterway to put in across from the house, right here, from these 2 stakes down. And also, YouTube's a nice historical thing. I can look back on what we did in previous years, or I can tell myself to remember certain things. It's actually kind of handy. So here you can see, this is the field. And all the lines that you see, so besides the outer one, are where you're not going to be able to plant. You're going to see some intersecting lines. That's because I did all the waterways, and I also did all the hay, so that way when we're done with the hay, we'll take the hay out. We'll actually just go ahead and go in here and delete the ones that aren't waterways. That way I don't have to redo this map. So that's pretty nice. And it looks like this field is 26 acres after all the waterways and all the boundaries that are in there. So let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Alrighty, so now I'm on to the next one. That first one took about an hour. There was a lot of waterways in that. You know, when I had to make 3 laps around the field, it takes a while. So now I'm gonna go do what's called our highline wire field. Well, I thought it was named highline wire, but maybe not. I gotta call Pat real quick. All right, got it now. It was just something I didn't think it was called that. So, all right, let's go ahead and do this one now. Gonna do the outside, and then there's another waterway in here we need to redo this year, so I'm gonna mark that as well. Found another one that's washing pretty good, so I'm gonna basically make 2 stakes right there and right there, and we're gonna redo this waterway too. So we're gonna have 3 of them to redo this year, up here at least, so far. All right, so I talked to my dad. I just finished up that last field, I should say, and then I just went and talked to my dad, and he says that our west field, the one up here up on the that my dad owns. Basically right now I'm on the big hollow, but he says that the field up there actually has a couple pretty bad washouts, and he wants to put a couple waterways up there. So I'm gonna buzz up there and take a look at that and probably do that. But I want to take a look at this pond first. Wow, look at that water. This is gonna be pretty awesome when we get it seeded down. Tile's flowing pretty good. Sweet. Yeah, it's gonna be awesome for our cattle and for hopefully for wildlife too. So, all right, let's head up top. Yuck, there's still snow here. Wait, it's a little sloppy. Go, 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 get, go. That's a bedding area for him right there. So me coming up the top of the hill spooked him. Kind of cool. All right, got a couple more waterways left to do, and then I will be done up here at Bellevue. Then I'm gonna go to our assignment farm, and I'll see how much time we have left, because I gotta head home here gotta be home by 4. So right down there is had some dirt work done last fall. Card right here, my dad explained a little bit more, but basically this dike was blown out. We had to put a new one in. And what a dike does is basically a wall of dirt and grass that stops any soil from washing down through, and it kind of lets it sit in a settling basin with a little tile drain that lets water percolate through and through a tube, and it goes through the dike and out and keeps going where it wants to go, where gravity takes it. Here's what the dike looks like. They just basically kind of ripped up all the grass, reformed it, made it a little bit bigger, a little bit taller, and then they kind of smoothed it out. Then we're gonna come down and just seed it. And they also, like I said, there's a pipe going from that orange tube under the dike down to there. And then it goes into that little drainage tube and keeps going on down the bottom of the hill. When you're farming hills like we do, guys, there's a lot of problems and stuff you gotta deal with, and the biggest thing is water and erosion. Alrighty, all done at the Bellevue farm. So let's head back up on top of the hill, load up on the flatbed, and head to assignments. 1:15. I got basically 2 hours until I gotta be heading on the road home. Let's go check out the bean field where I ripped last year. Card that video right here when I was ripping it. Got some nice drone footage there too. But we also let the cattle in here a couple weeks ago when we had like 16 inches of snow. Yeah, that was a lot. It really didn't destroy much. And the road's a little rough. And there's cow pies everywhere, but it's not bad. Here's, yeah. You can definitely tell they spend almost all the time here. Whew, that needs to be worked. It's a mess down here, but hey, cattle like to do what cattle like to do. All right, let's drive this thing up in the trailer. Hopefully I don't tip her off. We'll find out. Wow, she is really breezy out. I hope this wind buff is doing its job. It's probably 20 mile an hour sustained winds, but I'm gonna strap this thing down, head into town, grab a quick bite to eat, head to our next farm. Dang it, I couldn't get the camera up in time, but that John Deere 4010, 4020, one of those two, was awesome looking. But just about there, I stopped. In the middle of time, as you kind of see that I got out, I stopped and actually turned the side-by-side on and turned the Pro 700 on just so the RTK can start coming in. I turned it off because I knew it'd be a half-hour drive. just coming up on the Zymet farm. I just got the small field to do on the north end. All the rest of the ones I did last year, I believe. So let's go ahead and get on it. Let's go ahead and unstrap this, pull it off, and get doing that field. Hi, Pooch.
We're just out today marking some boundary lines. I just had my neighbors, and then I was like, hey, me, Gavin, can ride with you? And he's like, sure. And I said, okay. And then we hopped in, and then we're making some boundary lines.
Yep, and here we are. Alrighty guys, we are done for the day. I actually gotta head home here shortly. Wish I didn't have to on this nice day. Ah, that was loud. Wish I didn't have to on this nice day, but gotta head home. But I got 3 farms done, or 2 farms done. That's good. Everything north of the farm is done. Only got about another day or 2 days left of this. It'll be good. So let's head back to the farm. Alrighty, all done. Let's go ahead and put the side-by-side away and call our day. Alrighty guys, I'm gonna head boogie on home, but I hope you guys enjoy this video. I hope you learned a little bit something about kind of why we're using precision technology and why I just drove around endlessly in circles on a gator in a side-by-side. You'll figure that out. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. If you guys did, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Hartung Family Farms. And of course guys, as always, ta-ta for now.